everybody, it's Tessa from Meyer Hatchery, and today we're making turkey placemats. Alright, today we're going to be making placemats for your Thanksgiving table. These can be for your own table or to give as a gift. And I say that because we're using our own hands to make these turkeys, which is a really preschool kind of a trick, but to keep track of the years and how everyone grows, it can make the perfect centerpiece. So you can either do this as a group, or you can collect handprints like I've done and do it yourself in the quiet of when your kids are at school. But what you need to do is get each person that you want on this placemat to draw their hands on a piece of paper. I do encourage that you let little kids draw their own, even if they might seem shallow or not exactly correct. It's perfect, I promise. So let them trace their own hands. It's good practice for their own wrists. So I've got my whole family here, and after I get everybody's handprints, the first thing that I do is I cut them out. So this is my husband's hand here. I'm not gonna throw this part away yet, even though this is eventually gonna go to the trash. Save it for right now. So I've got that off to the side. I've got this handprint. For this project, all you're gonna need is felt, a Sharpie marker for transferring, a pen and paper for the tracing of the hands, and then a really nice pair of scissors that can cut fabric. So these are your secret scissors. Also a good time to use those is when your kids are at school so they never see them and don't ruin them. And then we're gonna be using just regular school glue. Now, why I'm not using hot glue for this is because since felt is synthetic, the heat of the hot glue might cause it to ripple or to become almost abrasive or not bendable. This school glue is gonna dry nice for me if I don't put too much on. It's just gonna keep it in place and it'll still be flexible. So, husband's hand cut out. I'm using this dark color of brown for all of the backgrounds of my turkeys. So I have traced his hand onto here. I'm gonna do the same for the rest of our hands, and then I'll get back with you. All right, so I just finished cutting out all of the hands. So I took the paper hands, I traced them with a Sharpie onto a bigger piece of felt. I was able to fit all 5 hands for my family onto one piece. You can always use more if you need to, but I was trying to cram as many onto one as I possibly could. So when you're arranging your hands onto your larger 12 by 18 piece of felt, you can overlap them. And sometimes you have to just because of the size of the hands. So since there are some teenagers in my family now, some of the hands are just about as big as mine and my husband's. But what I did was the side that I traced on, that's the side that goes down because I don't want to see my marker lines. So if you look at this here, these are mine and my husband's hands and these are my kids' hands. And the thumb is the face of the turkey. So they're all kind of spread around. So what I have going on right now is each one of these hands has a line of glue down it. That's just to keep it in place so that I can add accessories or features to these turkeys and still be able to move the fingers for a little bit. So I want to keep those loose. Just one stripe of glue down the palms of each and let them dry. So I'm going to set that off to the side because while that's drying, I can start to make some of the features of our turkeys. And that's why we saved these items. So this is my cutout and my hand. So I know that for mine, I want there to be their wattles, I want there to be a snoot, I want there to be a beak, and maybe I want some different feather colors. So on these extra pieces, actually I don't even need that part. What I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna use my old template to draw on where I would want a beak so that I can cut it out the right size. So I could freehand it, which is really usually my style, but since this is gonna be like an heirloom, I want them to look nice. So I am gonna be drawing on, which this looks crazy, right? But so I've got a beak and I've got the wattles. If I wanted a snoot, I could draw that off the top too, but for right now, I just want beak and wattles. And I'm gonna do that for everyone's hand so that I have the right size. Then we're gonna cut those out and glue them on. So one thing that can make this adjustable for you is how you want to treat these placemats. If these are going to be an heirloom that you want to keep each year, I would suggest having these sewn on in place. This is going to just stay in my family. We're just going to be gluing it. I don't plan on trying to wash it, but if you do want to be able to hand wash these, again, I would suggest sewing everything on. because imagine how adorable it would be to give one of these to a gift to a grandma of all of her grandkids, or secretly trace the hands of a new baby for a new family. These are an awesome gift to have as an heirloom. So back off to the side with you. I'm gonna go ahead and trace out beaks and wattles for all of my turkeys. I'm gonna use the other pieces of felt, and then the feathering, what I'm gonna do for that is I'm gonna let each person choose their fancy feather colors, because maybe we're all not chocolate heritage turkeys. I don't know, maybe some of us are slightly slate or bourbon red. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give each person their hand back, and they are gonna cut out fingers of different colors, and then we're gonna put those in between the fingers so that we have additional colors in the ray of the feathers here. And then when everything is dry, we're gonna take a paint pen to draw on part of the wing. And then if it's not being washed, we're gonna add Google eyes. So give me a few minutes, I'm gonna get to work, and then I'm gonna let everybody work on theirs. All right, everybody added their finishing touches. So now here is my turkey family of 5. So you can see that each person cut out their fingers to add additional feathers. And we didn't have any googly eyes, so I used white felt and Sharpie to draw on the eyes. Remember, if you want to be able to wash these, no marker, no glue, it would all need to be hand stitched. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to set it under a heavy book so it can dry overnight, because I've glued down every part of it with just that school glue. And then tomorrow I'll probably embroider the date on it for the year so that we can always remember this, and we can keep it as an heirloom for our family. So if you love watching videos like this with Meyer Hatchery, be sure to like and subscribe, because we have tons of awesome content that you can do at home. Have a happy Thanksgiving from Meyer Hatchery.